In this video I'll present to you the best mixing techniques that will be your go-to techniques when mixing or producing a song. The purpose of this video is to provide a handy tool for you to learn mixing while going back and forth between practice and learning. So let's not waste time and start with the number one, frequency exchange. In order to make two sounds fit each other, use the EQ on the main sound to scan and find frequencies that are the most important for it. To find the main frequencies of the sound, use a listening feature in your EQ and scan the frequency spectrum. At some point you'll hear that some frequencies just sound foundational to that particular sound, and without them the sound will lose its character. Alternatively, use a bell EQ, boost and scan to see what frequencies pop up the most, then tame them to see if you targeted them properly, and you will know that if a sound loses character. Now go to the second sound and tame those frequencies. By doing this, you're creating space in the second sound for the first sound. This reduces the clashing of the frequencies, making these two sounds nicely blend together. To get even better results, use mid-side EQing. Listen to the main sound and decide on whether it should stay mainly in the middle or on the sides. Let's say our sound is going to stay in the middle, supported by the second sound on the sides. Now again, find the most important frequencies for that sound in the middle and tame them also in the middle on the second sound. Bonus tip. You can use this trick not only on the main frequencies, but on a full frequency spectrum to connect two sounds together as if they were puzzles. This video is sponsored by Oversample.us. If you're struggling with mixing, you need some tools that'll help you achieve a better sound without much effort and with simplicity. That's why the mixing sauce for Ableton has been created. 7 different racks that'll help you improve the quality of your songs simply by tweaking a couple knobs. It'll help you clean up the mud, improve the drum section, get that professional feel on vocals, make synths and basses saucier, and also fix the issues in mids and sides. Besides mixing, sound selection plays a big role in how good the song turns out. That's why Oversample.us also provides samples and presets all in high, polished quality. From Polychrome Melodic Dubstep Sample Pack through Future Bass Toolkit, Cyberpunk 2077, Hyperpop, House, Trap, Drill, Lo-Fi, to even artist-inspired sample packs like Skrillex or Flume-inspired ones, Oversample.us has got you covered. You can find there our specialty, a super heavy drums collection with over 2000 drums in total for each occasion, and ultimate for your drum needs. And if you're looking for my personal sounds, Soundchess will be your pick. We've got vocals and acapellas too if you're tired of looking for good ones on the internet. Get the sounds, presets, and tools at Oversample.us. Number 2, frequency sidechaining. Now that you've targeted the main frequencies of the main sound, set up sidechaining of those frequencies in the second sound to dynamically connect them based on the volume of the first sound. This trick will allow you to tame the clashing frequencies only when it's necessary. We're going to use Pro Q3 as it has a built-in sidechaining option, but I'll show you how you can do it in a stock EQ in Ableton, EQ8. Let's find the most important frequencies for the first sound, put the EQ on the second sound, target those frequencies, make the dynamic EQ, turn on sidechaining, pick the first sound as a sidechain input, and adjust the sidechaining settings so that the two sounds are perfectly glued. Let's do the same thing but with EQ8. Target the frequencies on the second sound, add an envelope follower onto the main sound, map it to the gain of the EQ band, adjust the gain to make the envelope follower react better, adjust rise and fall to smooth out the envelope, set the starting position to 50%, which means 0 dB, and the end position to 0% so that it will duck the volume. Number 3, mid-side and left-right EQ. Mid-side EQing is a powerful technique that allows you to shape the tone of a sound independently on the mids and sides of the stereo spectrum. If it's left-right, the EQ will shape the tone on the left and right channels separately. A mid-side EQ is mostly used, although left-right is sometimes useful, especially when a sound has a tonal imbalance in the stereo spectrum and is playing too much on one side. To mid-side EQ, turn on the mid-side function in your EQ and add one shape for mids and one for the sides to have both available. With mids selected, cut the frequencies that you don't want to have in the middle, then switch to the sides and boost those same frequencies to compensate for the volume loss. This way you're changing the stereo balance of the sound, you're making those frequencies play less in the middle and more on the sides, thus making the sound appear wider. That was a boost cut technique for offsetting the balance, but you can also simply boost or cut any frequency that you want to be more or less prominent on mids or sides. This type of EQ can be very powerful in changing the quality of the sound. By creating complex EQ shapes, you can really alter the sound in a positive direction, making it wider and more powerful. Note that if a sound doesn't have any frequencies or has only a little on the sides, this type of EQing will not work. For left-right EQ, the idea is the same. Find the problematic frequencies on one of the channels and make them louder or quieter. You're separating both channels, so if one channel has information that another doesn't have, making those frequencies quieter will make them disappear within the whole sound. Once you make an EQ shape, save it into your library to use on other sounds to quickly improve them. The EQ won't be specifically made for those sounds, but chances are that it will still sound good and improve the sound drastically. Number 4. Dynamic EQ. The dynamic EQ is a powerful tool that allows you to tame problematic frequencies only when they occur without affecting the rest of the sound. With the dynamic EQ, you can target a specific frequency range and set a threshold at which point the EQ will kick in and start reducing the volume of those frequencies. This is especially useful when you have a sound that has a few problematic frequencies that pop out only occasionally. To use the dynamic EQ, first identify the problematic frequencies that you want to tame.
Don't tell me to come down, down, down. Don't tell me to.
Increase the amount so that the compressor can react and duck the volume of those frequencies.
Don't tell me to come down. Don't tell me to come down, down. Don't tell me to come down. Don't tell me to come down, down. Don't tell me to come down.
When it comes to the amount of compression, you want to find a nice balance so that the frequencies aren't bothering you anymore. You don't want to cut too little to not have the effect, and you don't want to cut too much to not lose important frequencies of that sound.
Don't tell me to come down. Don't tell me to come down. Don't tell me to come down, down. Don't tell me to come down, down.
Now, some EQs will have more functions of that compressor. Pro Q3 has only threshold, but that's good enough. Bonus tip. You can use a dynamic EQ for a variety of purposes beyond just taming problematic frequencies. For example, you can use it to boost certain frequencies to create a more dynamic and punchy effect. A free alternative to Pro Q3 that allows you to use the dynamic feature is TDR Nova.
Don't tell me to come down. Don't tell me to come down. Don't tell me to come down.
Number 5. Mud cleanup. Mud is a common problem in mixing and it can be found in the low mid-range frequencies. It can make the mix sound cluttered and unclear, and it's important to clean it up to achieve a clear and more pleasant sound. One effective way to clean up muddy frequencies is to use a normal cut EQ. Find the muddy frequencies, they're usually located from 150 to 500 Hz, and tame them using a simple bell EQ. Use multiple EQ points to nail the tonal balance. Find a sweet spot that doesn't sound so annoying anymore and that doesn't make the sound lose power. Having loud low-mid frequencies on the sides can really sound annoying, so use a side cut to reduce their presence. You don't want to completely delete them from the sides unless that sounds good, so use a smooth EQ slope to ease them in. It's important to note that cleaning up the mud is not just about cutting frequencies. Sometimes it's necessary to boost other frequencies to bring out the clarity and definition of the sound. After cleaning up the mud, you may find that the sound is much higher quality. But still can be lacking some character. That character can be extracted by boosting higher frequencies and clearing up the rest of the frequency spectrum by cutting and boosting to achieve a perfect tonal balance for that sound. Number 6. Resonance suppression. Resonance suppression is a very effective way of dynamically taming annoying resonances and making the sound smoother and less harsh. A resonance suppressor will detect all resonances of the sound and compress them. For this example, we're gonna use Soothe 2. First, identify what frequencies are causing trouble. This can be done by using a delta listening mode that previews certain frequencies. Once you've found them, boost them to increase the amount of volume reduction and tweak the depth knob to as well adjust the amount of compression, but on the whole spectrum. Keep alternating between tweaking that knob and adjusting the EQ until you find a sweet spot. Use a sharpness knob to decide on how sharp and wide the resonance detection and suppression will be. Use the hard mode to get more extreme results. This can be used on mids and sides too, and there are attack and release parameters of the compressor that can be adjusted. If there are frequencies you don't want to be compressed, use a low cut or a high cut to disable the activity of a suppressor for them. If a sound is moving in pitch or resonances are changing, then a resonance suppressor will work perfect because it will tame them only when they appear. For static resonances, you can use this tool too, or you can try number 7, resonance removal. Sometimes you will encounter sounds that have that one annoying frequency that shouldn't be there at all. What you can do is to use a very sharp bell EQ, target that resonance and gain it down as low as possible until it goes fully quiet. If there's more resonances that are not supposed to be there, do the same thing for them. Number 8, supporting elements. This technique is all about taking a sound in your song and supporting it using different elements. You can think of it as building around one sound and using EQ as a glue. Here's how it goes. Take a sound and think of what sounds could support it. There's no rules and you can get very creative with it. In our case, we're gonna take this sound and support it with this one. We need to glue that element to our main sound, so use EQ to do that. Set the volume of the supporting sound so that it's not too loud and not too quiet. Don't worry about it too much, we're gonna adjust the volume for individual frequencies with the EQ. And now open an EQ and start boosting and cutting frequencies. A good way to go about it is to first boost a certain frequency region to be able to focus on it with your ears, and then start pulling the gain down to find a perfect balance. You will know that it fits perfectly when the frequencies don't stand out too much. Once you fit the two sounds together, you can keep adding more or stop if the sound is satisfying. Let's add more. You can use this technique to make the sounds fuller, but also to add texture to them and to make them more interesting. Number 9. Space control. Reverbs, delays, and other space effects create tails that sometimes leak into other sections they are not supposed to. This causes the mix to sound cluttered. A simple solution for this is to use volume automation to control those tails. In Ableton, use the utility effect and write an automation line that will control the tail. Sometimes a sudden stop is the best, but sometimes an intentional control is necessary. Do what sounds the best for the context of your track. Make sure to practice all of these techniques, and if you're doubting yourself now, don't worry, the skill will come with time as you put more and more hours into listening and adjusting things. Make sure to check out oversample.us for mixing source for Ableton, for packs and presets. Have a great day, and see you soon.